The Friday Soccer Paycheck, America's favorite soccer show, live on the air. A little late, but here we are. 4:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's time to bet on soccer. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. I am Stephen Murray from the Deep End Broadcasting Studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. We are America's only EPL, English Championship, wagering show for all the upcoming games this weekend. We thank you for tuning in. I see some viewers already. Welcome aboard as the Paycheck is on the air, as Deep End Broadcasting is committed to bringing you content through the entire summer on almost a week-daily basis anyway, not so much on the weekends. But the new morning show, 6 a.m. live, Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the replay just after 7, and you can listen at your convenience for your work day to get updated in your sports world. Get all your up-to-date information here on the Deep End Broadcasting Network. But our business at hand is the English Premier League. We had a full slate of championship games already today, and what we'll do is we'll go in reverse order. Usually we talk about the championship second, but we'll go ahead and do that first today. We'll do a little brief recap, and then we'll get into the bulk of the menu. And excuse me, Virginia allergies. Just had a workout outside in our lovely Virginia weather, and choking up a little bit for sure. So if I look like I'm getting ready to pass out up here, that's likely probably the case, to be honest. Just kidding. We're okay. But the pollen, very thick, very heavy. And for someone like me, the sensitive, soft skin that I got, these allergies do not do well in the springtime ever. So my least favorite time of the year, to be honest, is our Virginia spring. But here we go. It is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. Let's get down to business. All right, with the championship results today, we have a new first-place team, Ipswich. They get a win. Leicester loses. Leicester falls out of the top two. The top two get automatic promotion to the Premier League. Seeds 3 through 6 in the playoffs, in which we have about 10 games to play. Some a little bit less, actually, 9 games, 8 games, depending who you may be. Leicester is now down in the 3rd spot and would have to play in that play-in playoff to get into the English Premier League. They looked like they were a sure shot to get in there. First, Leeds catches them, and then Ipswich, who's been on fire, vaults right back on top of Leeds. Now, Leeds is playing right now, and Leeds, by the time shortly after this show gets off the air, Leeds could pop back in the first place. But good news for both of them, at least for Ipswich, is that they are at least 2 points clear of Leicester right now. Now, here's the deal. As far as games played, Leicester does have a game in hand. That means they have one extra shot to get points, in which the other teams will not have a game to play. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. So it's all coming down hot and heavy there for the playoffs. Okay, now as far as the seeds 3 through 6, Leicester now with 82 points. Now, if they were stuck in there, they're not going to fall out of that mix. They're going to be good enough to stay in that 3 through 6 battle. They have 82. Southampton with 74. They get a draw today. West Brom, 67 points for them, and Norwich for them, 64 points overall. So Coventry, they trail right behind Norwich within arm's reach of the playoffs. After that, still contending potentially. You have Preston at North End, Hull. Preston with a big win today. Hull, I think, ended up drawing out in their game. I think they went scoreless. Middlesbrough had a draw. They're still kind of in there. Time's running out for teams like Middlesbrough, Cardiff City, who had a bad loss today. You can count on them out. Sunderland and beyond No hope for the Premier League for any of those squads this year. As far as the relegation battle goes, Rotherham is a cinch to be sent down to League One. They only have 20 points. They give up a ton of goals. They gave up 3 today to Preston North End. A draw for Sheffield Wednesday has them. I feel like this is not my best table to be looking at, considering these games just ended. So let me see if I can pull up a even better. I know I'm getting faulty information now. I just know it. So let's see here. The points. Let's go back up to Norwich and Coventry. Yeah, no, that says the same thing. Unless these aren't updated either. Now, the game's just ended a few hours ago, so everyone on top of, the BBC, right? Shouldn't we be on top of things? Okay, so the BBC, according to them, yeah, okay, so I am giving you accurate information as far as everyone there in the top part. And then in the bottom part, yes, same information. Okay, so Rotherham has 20 points. Sheffield Wednesday has 39. Huddersfield Town has 39. And Birmingham, Tom Brady's team, who started off well, now holding on for dear lives as they can't buy or win at all. They have 39 as well, but a better goal differential by 3 goals. Okay, so they're still right in the mix for relegation, as would be Plymouth, Blackburn, and Queen's Park Rangers. You would think, even with 44 points, teams like Millwall and Stoke City. Stoke has done themselves well. They're right there at the bottom, really facing to be hurting to go down to League One, but they've rebounded a little bit with at least a couple of wins in their last 5. Millwall, they've done themselves some favors too with some draws and some wins. So you think those teams will continue to trend the right way. So basically, Queen's Park Rangers and down are in trouble. So Queen's Park Rangers, Blackburn, Plymouth, Birmingham, Huddersfield, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, all teams to be going down to League One. Rotherham, too, is a complete fade right now as far as betting against them. They give up 4 goals a game, at least 3. So know that they are a mess. Okay, let's get to the Premier League and let's get to their table. We should not have any bad issues here as far as the updated standings. In fact, I already got that up here. And here we go. On the top right now with a better goal differential is Arsenal. All right. So they have a plus 46. They have 7 goals better than Liverpool. Really able to get that huge win the other week against Sheffield United where they got 6 goals, I think, in the first half. Right. That has done them well as far as a goal differential. And they haven't lost in forever. They sit in first place right now with 64 points. Tied with Liverpool with the 64, but again with the goal differential. Manchester City right there in third place with 63 points. So they're a point behind. And it's old Manchester City and Arsenal this weekend, 11:30 p.m. Sunday on your NBC. Let's make sure they don't put that on Peacock, right? They've done that a few times with these big games. But I think it should be on NBC on Easter. So Man City and Arsenal is a must-watch for soccer. 2 really, really good teams. We're definitely going to get into that as we go. Aston Villa is in 4th place with 56 points. So they would be in Champions League right now. Tottenham with 53 points, trying to catapult themselves back up into Champions League play. Manchester United is number 6 right now. In fact, Tottenham could get a wild card to get in there. 7th would be West Ham. Manchester United, 47. They're 6 behind Tottenham, and who has 56 behind Tottenham, who has 53 in that 5th spot for maybe even better extra soccer next season. West Ham, 44. Brighton, 42. Then Newcastle, Chelsea, Fulham, all sit right there in the middle. Bournemouth, above average, bad team, you could say, I guess. 2 wins in their last 3 at least. Crystal Palace, sputtering but inspiring to do better. They've at least given you a couple of draws and a win lately. But then 14th, maybe they can be better against some of these bad teams. Brentford can't find a win. I mean, you really don't. You have 3 teams. You have 4 teams with 4 wins combined in the bottom 7 teams in the English Premier League right now. And there's not many draws. There's only 11 draws. That would be a grand total of 11, 15, 19, 23, 27 losses. So 4 wins, 27 losses, 11 draws. So is this going to tell you who you need to play against this week? I mean, it should. Crystal Palace, 14th place. Brentford doesn't have one of those wins in 15th. Everton doesn't have one of those wins in 16th. Luton Town is safe for now with 22 points. Trailing them, Nottingham Forest, who they've been deducted 4 points now for money issues. So that sends them to the relegation zone in the 18th spot. They have 21 points, one behind Luton. Nottingham not safe, Luton safe. And then Burnley with 17 and Sheffield United, 14 points for them. They just look like they are in trouble. But I will say this, at least Burnley and Sheffield, of all those teams we've mentioned, at least they've won a game here in their last 5. I can't say that for anyone else but Nottingham and Crystal Palace. Okay, so we're very top heavy and very bottom heavy is the moral of the story. In the middle, it's just what you think it would be, mediocreness, mainly some more wins. So these middle teams able to beat down on some of these lesser teams as well. Okay, so let's keep all that in mind as we go through what should be a nice weather weekend anyway. It was beautiful there today in the UK. Let's follow up on that here really quick. Let me just get my London spreadsheet going. Yeah, Saturday is going to be almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And then also on Sunday, 55 degrees. Perfect soccer weather, no rain. Rain we'll have midweek. Looking for a lot of rain through the midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So keep that in mind as we have Premier League games all next week during the weekday as well. We'll talk about some of those on the morning show this week. So you'll have to tune into that to get your daily update on that. Trust me, we'll get into our soccer on that thing too. Okay, so bad team against good team. Let's look at some injuries. Bournemouth, somewhat banged up. Most of their guys on their injured list are out. They have a half dozen. Matty Cash, we're missing him for Aston Villa. They'd love to have him back at some point. Still no John McGinn either, ruled out. Tyrone Mings. So a little banged up Aston Villa for them. Rico Henry, he's still hurt for Brentford. No regard. Ethan Pinnock. They got a lot of guys. None of them look like they're going to end up playing. Maybe 1 or 2. 5 injuries on Brighton. Still missing Matoma. Still missing Solomon March. So they'd love to have them back. James Milner may be able to get back in there. That would provide at least a little bit of a boost. But figure offensively, Brighton is down on their lucks a little bit until they can get at least Matoma and March back, who are dynamic players for them. Burnley, missing Aaron Ramsey. He's not going to be around. That looks like the season for him now. The half dozen injuries for Burnley. Chelsea is the walking wounded for sure. Reece James now ruled out. They're missing him. Chilwell likely going to be out. Still have the fantastic talent up front. But Chelsea still really, really deep with injuries. Crystal Palace, they have their share of injuries. Again, Decore has been injured forever. Michael Olise as well. A very banged up team are Crystal Palace. Everton, just a handful of injuries, just 3, nothing much. Fulham is reporting no injuries. So that's going to be somewhat important potentially in their game. Liverpool, missing players, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Diego Jota, he'll be out. Andrew Robertson still. Thiago still. Although they are deep, I mean, they are missing some Joel Matip out. So still missing some players for Liverpool. Luton Town is completely wrecked. They have 13 injuries. Elijah Adebayo is their dynamic player. He's not going to be around. Amari Bell out as well. So the fast, exciting Luton that you've been seeing, it's going to be a mismoshed team out there on the soccer pitch for their game. Manchester City has interesting injuries. Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's 100% out. They're going to try to take it easy on him. We'll just have to see about that. Ederson looks like he might not be out available. Kyle Walker, very good defensively, maybe their best defensive player, out. John Stones, good defensive player, out. So Man City may be right for the picking. No De Bruyne, no Kyle Walker, no John Stones. Those are key injuries for that team. Manchester United, injuries for them. Still missing Anthony Martial. Still missing Harry Maguire, it looks like. And you're going to have to just look at all these lineups. If you see a player I'm talking about not in there, it's not my fault. You're not going to get half the story half the time on these injury reports. So you always got to pay attention to the lineup still. Newcastle will be missing Callum Wilson, Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Harvey Barnes. So they're decimated with their superstar talent. Nottingham Forest, Owanai, going to be missing him. Chris Wood, interesting. Maybe they're saying, don't know. He passed the fitness test. That's the thing. They'll say they passed a fitness test, but he's not going to play. That's what they're saying about De Bruyne. He passed the fitness test, but he's not ready yet. So I don't know what that means when you say that kind of thing, to be honest. Sheffield United, they have a ton of injuries. Let's see, about 8 overall. Chris Basham continues to be a key player for them. Tottenham Hotspur, they're getting healthier at the right time. So we'll keep an eye on them. It looks like they're going to have everyone back. Rich Arlison, Son, James Madison. They haven't had their full complement of weapons. When they do, they can be very exciting. So we'll take a look at that. West Ham now with a couple of injuries for them. And Wolverhampton, Pedro Neto out. See, they're missing him. Chan Huang out. Matthias Cunha, he passed his fit test. Still have a few things to tick off, they say. Still have a few things to tick off. So Matthias Cunha, who you'd like to see in the lineup with Huang and Neto for Wolverhampton, all out. All right, so that is a good injury report to know and to look up because we learned a lot there. Let me go ahead and get some fresh lines up here. Watford leads 2-1. So big fans of Watford today will be Ipswich. They can hold on to that first place spot. And actually Leicester as well. That's going to benefit Leicester because they'll still be within arm's reach of Leeds if Leeds does not get the full 3 points today. All right, they're going to make me log in on everything. I don't need a username. I'm already a member. Okay, yep. Hopefully they don't make me authenticate. Okay, good. All right, we don't care. Just get us to the lines. Okay, the first game, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Newcastle host West Ham. A banged-up Newcastle team, a West Ham team is getting plus 290 here, and they've actually been better than Newcastle in the standings. The draw is plus 320. You would think that Newcastle would be a layup at home, but again, they're just a banged-up crew. So I don't know if I could pull the trigger on Newcastle at all. I don't think their depth is that great. When they've had their good players out this season, they haven't been good at all. West Ham can win you some games. So the price is right at plus 290, but maybe even the draw at plus 320 is a better one. Would it shock me if this was a 0-0 game on a nice day to start today? Honestly, it probably won't. Or 1-1, it could be. But it's either going to be a lower scoring game with a draw or West Ham's going to ink this out like 1-0. All right, I'm going to tell you that right now. So pick your poison there, West Ham, Newcastle, draw, and take them both if you want. You could profit money, but if you take the draw and the outright win, you'll be doing well. Now, Newcastle, West Ham, if you want to take them maybe for 2 goals to try to play it somewhat safe. Let's see here. Let's see what kind of number we can get. Plus 146 if West Ham can just get 2 goals on the day. The problem is they play defense and they like to counter. So they might be on defense on purpose a lot. Not soccer for me. I don't like the teams who play defense. My style is more up and down the field play offense. Okay. You could have somewhat of a helter-skelter game with Chelsea and Burnley. Burnley trying to leave it all out there. Chelsea has a mixed match of players now with all their injuries. Burnley is a team that gives up goals for sure. They've given up a ton. Let's see. What have they given up on the year? 63 total goals, which is second worst. Chelsea can score. I mean, they score above average anyway, for the most part. They'd be like a B- as far as being able to score goals. But Burnley, as far as like the bad teams go, they're as bad as they get scoring too. I don't know. I mean, I guess Chelsea's going to win this one. They're a deeper school of talent, rich in their youth who they bring up through their systems. A lot more than Burnley. They have the cream of the crop. It's always to be building a better future with them. If they have players that are failing, they can just look to the lower levels and bring them up and try again. All right, so Chelsea, I would lean just to be a little bit better team at home. But who knows what you're going to get here. Burnley's going to be playing like a cat in the corner trying to scratch you as you're trying to pick them up because they're going to be trying to avoid relegation at all costs. So they could be like, screw it. Let's just go out there. Let's throw everything to the whim and be super aggressive. Maybe we can get a goal or two, and while they're doing that, Chelsea's going to be able to counter and get a goal or two themselves. So up and down, potential sneaky game here, I think, with Chelsea and Burnley. All right, Tottenham and Luton. This should be a bloodbath, literally. Tottenham at home against Luton. They might get 4 goals. They could even get 5 goals in this, literally. Luton's going to get them a bunch of goals. Tottenham's healthy, just as we mentioned. This is honestly the team with a healthy Tottenham that we want to play. Over 3.5 goals is plus 176. I mean, so everyone's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. You're not going to get a super rich payout. Over 4.5 is plus 430. The first half would be interesting over 2.5 goals for the home team. Let's see what we got there. Because Tottenham could actually get that. In fact, they could go up 2-0 in the first 10 minutes. I wish you could bet goal in the first 10 minutes. Can you? Can't you? I think you can, right? Not on this list. That might be somewhere else. Team props. Both teams. Yeah. Lead at the 10, 20, 30-minute mark. Yeah, Tottenham to have a lead at the 10-minute mark at plus 320 and at the 20-minute mark at plus 145, I think are good numbers. I think you're going to get a goal fast from them. They're going to come out hot out of the gates. And, Luton's not – with all their injuries, I would not expect much of a solid attack there for Luton Town as they play the Spurs. All right, so I do like that prop. As I try to look, both teams to score in the first half, both teams to score. No. The score in both halves for Tottenham minus 190. I think that's a good bet too. Even though you're laying the juice, that's something I think they're going to do. Let's see. Oh, they have big time alternate props now. Look at this. I can risk minus 3.5 goals for Tottenham. That's plus 370, minus 4.5. It's plus 850 now. Wow. All right. So you can actually lay larger than 2.5 or 3.5 goals now with some of the stuff on the new menu here that we're just discovering on the Friday Soccer Paycheck. Oh, that's scary. But yes, can Tottenham score 5 goals at plus 850 at minus 4.5? I would say that they can actually in this game. And they'll want to too, as they are chasing better seeding, and goal differential does matter if you can run it up on some teams. Again, let's look at that. Let's look at them in the standings. Yeah, look, I mean, they have literally a 1 goal differential with Aston Villa, the team above them. So they are going to be more than inspired to put up a ton of goals in this game. Okay. So good angle there with Tottenham. Sheffield United is home against Fulham. Fulham's been nice. They're just laying 135 to win, and they are healthy. Sheffield United, quite the opposite. I would look at Fulham here, to be honest. Away team, Fulham goals over 2.5. They could probably get there because Sheffield gives up a ton of goals. It's at plus 240. Eek, I would like that to be a little bit better. Goals in the first half for Fulham. Away team first half over 1.5 is live at plus 380. That's a good number. I think Fulham does get a couple of goals, at least in the first 50 minutes. So whether they get them in the first half or not is going to be tight. I think they'll get one in the first half, but I think they can definitely win this game like 3-0 at Sheffield. And, if it's not that good, it's going to be 2-0. But on a nice day, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here with their health. They have been a little bit better scoring as of late. So go ahead and give me Fulham with some goals at Sheffield. Nottingham hosts Crystal Palace. Now, Nottingham is the home team, fighting for their lives now that they have the 4-point deduction down in relegation. So even a point will do them justice for sure. So Crystal Palace playing a little bit more wide open here. Again, this could be just a helter-skelter game by proxy. I mean, both of these teams are going to be trying to win. They're going to do no holds barred. Let's let it rip. The new manager for Crystal Palace likes the run and gun type of offensive game anyway. Nottingham, probably with the injuries to Crystal Palace, would love to try to get into a shootout with them anyway. So we could see some goals sneakily here. I mean, you don't think of Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace being an over type of game generally. I would never say that, but I think in this circumstance and where these two teams sit in the standings, I think it makes a lot of sense. Both of these teams need it. They're going to be trying for it. They want to get 3 points, and they're going to want to try to move up the standings and get away from that relegation nonsense. So a good opportunity against each other to do that Saturday. All these games at 11 a.m. Eastern time, except for that first one with Newcastle. We have a 1:30 game on Saturday with Aston Villa and the Wolves. Aston Villa minus 175. The draw is plus 340. The away team plus 460. I think Aston Villa just does enough to win this game. They do have some injuries for sure, but they've had them. And they still have a lot of talent out there on the field. You're just missing a big, if you don't have Hwang, Neto, and you don't have Kuna for the Wolves, then you're missing a ton up front for you to try to score a goal. On the road at Aston Villa as well. So Aston Villa, I think, will be right for the pick and to get a win here. I think they'll be happy with the 2-0 win, although the Tottenham game is going to dictate how many goals they'll need to score as well. The Wolves do play feisty defense, so they're going to be a little bit more stubborn than the opponent of Tottenham, who is Luton Town. But I think you're going to try to get a score fest between each other. So maybe a good route will be to take Tottenham home team goals, Aston Villa home team goals, as they both have good opportunities to try to rack it up against teams who are not going to be able to keep pace with them offensively here at Saturday afternoon and into the evening over there in the United Kingdom. Okay, we have a 4:00 game with Brentford and Man United. This is a game that's always disgusting to me. Brentford hasn't won in forever. Man United, let's see, do they have our boy listed back? Yeah, I didn't see him, Rasmus Holland. I didn't see him listed on the injury report. Yeah, so it looks like Rasmus Holland is back for Man United. They have Rashford. They still have a good attack. I tell you what, Johan Wissa is the guy we talked about on the show last year, who was on Brighton last year, but now is on Brentford. He's been doing very, very well for Brentford, so pay attention to him and Ivan Toney as well, plus 125. You know what? You might see some goals in this game too, to be honest. I think Man United can get 2 or 3. In fact, I think this is the game that screwed me about a month ago where Man United got 2 goals right out of the gate, just needed the one more. They scored within 10 minutes. And I said, watch them not score again. And I think that's exactly what they did as they coasted to a 2-1 win that day on a Sunday morning, I believe. So yeah, the rematch for this one, this time at Brentford. It looks like Man United has some good offense ready to go here. Garnacho has been nice. They definitely have the capability to put up some goals against Brentford. And I think Brentford's good for at least one at home. They will play you tough, but a chance for an over game here Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be 9 o'clock local UK time. That must be a fun tailgate late into the night over there for EPL. All right, and we have two games on Sunday. Liverpool-Brighton is the first game at Liverpool, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both teams banged up, so we might not see the full onslaught of Liverpool, but I think they're going to be able to win this game. Brighton's not going to be able to put up much. I don't think. Brighton will not get a goal. I don't think. They're missing too many of their key pieces. They were a higher scoring team earlier in the season. Much lower lately, not nearly as good as they were earlier in the season. Injuries just have taken the toll there. So I would lean Liverpool here, but I don't know. I think Liverpool is going to be concerned about the points. Now they could rack it up too. I mean, they trail Arsenal in the standings as far as goal differential. Now it's a wide margin. It is, I think, 7 goals, right, is what we just looked at with the goal differential. Yeah. So they have 7 goals to the difference with them. But I don't think Brighton's the team who's going to let you have that many at the end of the day, right? I mean, they're good enough. They're going to maybe lose 3-0, even 4-0, but I don't think this has 6 or 7 written all over it. Too many pieces missing out for Liverpool, I would believe, there. And the big game, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday morning, Man City and Arsenal. Now, Man City is minus 110. Arsenal is plus 280. The draw is plus 270. I like Arsenal. I do. Man City's banged up. I don't like their injury report. I don't like the fact that they're missing Kyle. I don't like the fact that they're missing John Stones. I don't like the fact that they're missing Kevin De Bruyne. Okay. And Arsenal, on their report, which we didn't get to for some reason. Somehow I skipped that because I started on Burnley, right? So A would be before B. So let me get all the way back up to that. And I think they're playing a little close to the vest here because they have Bukayo Saka on here. He has a little bit of a hamstring problem, but well, let's say he's gone back now. Okay, so maybe he's out. All right, so no Saka, but they can fill in the front line. They have a lot of talent. Martinelli, they're going to wait and see how he is. It would be nice to have him in there. All right, Martinelli and Saka. Those are 2 big pieces if they don't play. So Saka's out, and Martinelli, I think, will end up playing. Is what's going to happen. You'll still get Leonardo Trossard to play as well. And you're going to have the opportunity to still have an attack there for Arsenal. So I think they can win this game. I'm going to give it the edge to Arsenal here. I think they win this game something like 2-1. I wouldn't be shocked if they won like 3-2, to be honest. Or, maybe even did a little bit better than that as far as playing well defensively. I love Odegaard. Odegaard is what Kevin De Bruyne is to Man City, and they're going to have Odegaard. He's all the difference in the world to me. He's one of the most fascinating midfielders in the universe. And he definitely is the point guard to that offense. Let's see here, just out of interest. Arsenal to win minus 2.5 is at 24-1 odds. So that is interesting. Arsenal to win by 2 goals is at plus 830. I think those are live big numbers and on Sunday at 11:30. So you know how it is. Oh, there's Man City. Let's take them. They should be able to beat Arsenal at home. Let's not be so sure about that. In fact, you get over 2.5 goals for Arsenal without having the win is at plus 750. Over 1.5 goals for Arsenal is at plus 200. I like all those numbers. Though over 1.5 for Arsenal at plus 200, I think they get their 2 goals. Now, do they win this game 1-0, or does this game even end up in a draw 0-0? Of course it can. It's soccer. That's what happens. All right, so best bets on the board for me are Arsenal. Go ahead and give me an Odegaard goal as well, since we don't know about him. Go ahead and give me Liverpool. I'll take a Mohamed Salah goal since he's reliable. He's minus 110 to score. I think that's a layup if you want to do. In fact, let's build a little ticket here. Anytime goal scorer for Odegaard is at plus 500. I like that. Let's take Mo Salah at minus 110. I'll leave this up on my screen. I'll get a picture of it. I'll get Nephew Dave to put it up on our X. You can follow us at X at DeepEnd757, DeepEnd 757. So Salah, Odegaard, let's see here. Man United, we'll go ahead and throw Højlund on there since he's the man, plus 165. This is going to be a superstar parlay for sure. For the Aston Villa game, we're going to go ahead and throw in a little Ollie Watkins at plus 110. And we'll go ahead and skip. I skipped the Bournemouth and Everton game, so I'll have to get back into that one. But no goal scorer there. In fact, we'll do that real quick. Bournemouth, Everton, this game could be a draw. Plus 260 sounds about right for me. So there you go on that. I won't trust either one of those to win that game, to be honest. Fulham, do we have a goal scorer there? We should, although I don't trust any of them. Raul Jimenez would be an interesting one, a plus 175, but we'll go ahead and lay off of that. We'll just pick someone from Tottenham here. Let's see. Son is minus 115. James Madison at plus 125 is an interesting one. Let's go ahead and throw him in there because he will take a penalty shot. And then if we take the one guy from Chelsea who scores all the time, that would be Mr. Cole Palmer at plus 120. There you go. That's a good leg. So these 6 goal scorers, $10 wins $3,145 for 1 goal each by Odegaard, Salah, Rasmus Højlund, Ollie Watkins, James Madison, Cole Palmer. There's a chance for that. You can round robin that too, actually. Put $2 on the 5s. That could win a couple $100, maybe 75 cents on the 4s. Get a chance to get a little scratch on that. Yeah, you could win a couple $100 if you get 4 of them. So you need 4 of the 6. Yeah, that'd be a fun little ticket to do. How much is that ticket total? 2, 12, 14. And 75% of 15 is 12. So $26 altogether to win a grand total of almost $2,700 off $26. Yeah, 26. That would be the round robin of goal scorers, taking the 4s, 5 and 6s of Odegaard, Salah, Højlund, Watkins, James Madison, Cole Palmer. All right, Cole Palmer. We'll throw all this up on the X. You'll have to get it there. But Odegaard does play for Arsenal. Salah on Liverpool. Højlund on Man United. Ollie Watkins on Aston Villa. James Madison on Tottenham. And Cole Palmer on Chelsea. As far as the games go, starting again from the top, I mean, you're priced right, so maybe take a shot on West Ham on the road to Newcastle. Newcastle just dinged up too much, I think, potentially. But they are at home. They do have a good home field advantage, so they do have the energy behind the crowd. Draw plus 320 attractive there as well. I think a sneaky over game with Chelsea and Burnley. You can see Burnley playing a little helter-skelter, fighting for their relegation lives. Chelsea mixed lineup. They could be all about trying to rack it up on Burnley themselves. Tottenham should be able to romp Luton Town at home. I think they can name their score. They're not going to be incentivized to quit over Luton Town. If they get up 4 goals, they'll still want to get to 5, 6, or 7 goals potentially and run up the score there to get the point differential battle over Aston Villa. Let's see. Fulham, I think, can score a couple goals for you, maybe even 3 at Sheffield United. I think Fulham minus 135 if you just want one straight easy bet. I think that's the way to do that one on there. I think they won that game. Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, again, a sneaky potential over game. We can see a lot of goals as both of those teams try to avoid relegation. Bournemouth, Everton looks like a 1-1 draw. Aston Villa, I think they'll be able to win. How handily do they win, though, is the question, as they face a few injuries as well, and Wolves do play aggressive defense. But I think they can get to 3 anyway. A 3-0 game would not surprise me with Aston Villa and the Wolves. I think you can see some goals potentially with Man United and Brentford. Man United 2-1, 3-1, maybe in this game, something like that. I think you could see Liverpool, Brighton get shut out. I think Liverpool wins this game, but with their injuries, how much do they win this by? 2 goals, 3 goals? Who knows? Just how lucky can they get, I guess. I'm going to assume it's like 2-0, 3-0. And I'm going to take Arsenal on the upset. I think they can score a few times. Some leaky defense potentially for Man City with the injuries to Kyle Walker and John Stones. And no De Bruyne in the midfield either. So concerning to me, the Sharks will be hunting for Arsenal. And I think if they can find some channels, get some clean ball, they have the talent to put the ball in the net. Backup goaltender, too. You got to remember that as well. So Arsenal plus 280 is a dream. And then anything exotic after that, go for it and good luck. All right, so those are the picks. We'll go ahead and get on out of here. We'll go ahead and cue the Spurs fans. Everyone have a safe, happy Easter wherever you are in this universe. We'll be back with you Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live for the round robin. Tune in, listen at work, enjoy your coffee, however you may take in the content. All right, have a good weekend. Good luck.